a journal of the day saying I was the first one to tap into the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system and the immune system. Now, if you are able to tap into the immune system to the level of the autonomic nervous system, then you have a much greater control over that what causes disease. So I possibly at that moment was a great danger. Not anymore, because now millions of people, you got to kill millions of people doing this method now. And that's it. But back then, I was the first one to show in medical history to tap into the autonomic nervous system and immune system. That means the perspective of what we as humans at will are able against a disease has completely changed. That means a lot of clients will go from the pharmaceutical dependency. It will go there from. And I tell you, we are the future now. And the future should be sane. And even the pharmaceuticals are people. So if they have a real sense of, we are here to heal people, that's why we make medicine. I heal people. I don't need medicine. Maybe medicine still exists, and all the, orthopedic instruments and things like that. We cannot do all, but I go for all. I think nature has got the answers. I found a way, and I'm now working with the top researchers in the world on the DNA to show that the building stones of life itself, we are able to influence, which was considered to be not done. Back then, the first time when I was on the journal, the other day, I rode with my bicycle through Amsterdam, and there I got this image that there is a man there on the roof, and he pops, poop, and look, that's a drunk man on the street. Mm-hmm. And then the so-called paramedics, not the real ones, just a scheme.
The man in black?
Yeah, the man in black. And they just throw me in a car and ditch me somewhere. And he was gone, he is gone, and that's it. They should have done that. Yeah. That moment, but not anymore, because now
too far gone.
I'm too far gone. I'm like a virus but in this case a positive one.
Yeah.
You got to kill it in the beginning.
It's just spread.
It's spread all over.
Yeah. So how does that make you feel then, knowing that now it's scientifically proven that you are changing lives, you are creating the chemistry in your body, changing the temperature, changing the neurons, and pushing yourself to the limits? When you also got the virus, when you got the bacteria injected into you,
E. coli.
Yeah, what was the method behind this?
Yeah, this is called a endotoxemia experimental model in science, to get to know more, to gain more knowledge over what is the immune system in people. Can we get more knowledge, more control? And so they did 16,134 test subjects, experimented with the endotoxin. Endotoxin is an E. coli, part of an E. coli bacteria. E. coli bacteria causes nausea, uncontrolled shivering, severe headaches, severe backaches, muscle aches, all over agony, and fever, also vomiting. Yeah, and in this experimental model, you become sick for 3 to 6 hours. That's it. But so 16,134 people, before they asked me to be injected with the E. coli bacteria, same model, they became all sick. 16,134 people. The average all sick. And then I came and I became not sick at all. Not sick. But then they said, but you are the Iceman. You have trained your body so different. Even your ice accomplishments, they are impossible to do in our physiology, the way we see that as medics. But you are doing it because you are an anomaly. You are outside. You're superhuman. Whatever you are, You are not representing the humans as it is in the physiology. And I said, no, everybody is able to do this. And then they said, finally, they said, okay, let's have a group and see. That would be groundbreaking and never been shown in medical history, how to enter into the immune system and enter into the autonomic nervous system. That is unprecedented. So, but they got the curiosity because I did it. I showed the blood results and the diagrams and everything, the graphics completely different, off the chart. So then they gave me a group and another group, a control group, who did my training within 4 days. When they came in the hospital receiving the E. coli bacteria, and this once again is after 16,134 people having becoming all sick, severely sick for 3 to 6 hours. My group of 12 people trained in 4 days. No, 100% score, no sickness, no disease, no symptoms, all low. And then they looked inside the blood and they saw them all within a quarter of an hour after the injection of E. coli bacteria, which causes deep inflammation, which is the same with COVID-19, by the way. And I have checked the numbers of the damaging factor of the COVID-19, which is interleukins, inflammatory markers. Those are number 1, number 6, number 8, and number 11 are responsible for the damage. And those all begins with symptoms. Now, within a quarter of an hour, those 12 were able to bring down the inflammation caused by the E. coli bacteria. See what we can do with the COVID-19. We don't need vaccines. We need proper breathing.
So that's how you beat it then, from breathing techniques?
Yes, sir.
We do a lot of breathing techniques in Scotland, me and my friend Gerald and James. Sometimes when I done the breathing techniques, though, I felt as if I was getting angry. Is that triggering a lot of stuff within?
Oh, yeah, man.
Do I need to push through that?
Biochemical. It's all biochemical. And we talked a little bit before this conversation about DMT. The DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which is a deep drug inside of our head. Through the breathing techniques, you're also able to activate that. So whatever is the trauma inside dimethyltryptamine is there to solve it, to go to the trauma and whatever that was. Doesn't matter. Anger is another one. But in the end, if you go back, it's biochemical. It's all biochemical neurotransmitters suddenly being released, making you angry. A serotonin makes you feel nice. Dopamine makes you feel great. Wow, nice. It's all drugs, man. It's inside. And we are able to tap into that pharmacy, which is in our head, connected to the whole of the body. Yeah. Once you know how to, when you take a acid, a trip, it's just a little thing. Mm-hmm. No, it's only a trigger. But now, through the breathing techniques, righteously done, you are able to trigger the area of the amygdala, of the hippocampus, of the periaqueductal, etc. All those great places where the pharmacy of ours is existent. But we have never learned how to connect with our will with that. And now I found ways. I found ways driven by my wife going down, 8 stories down, through the grief. I had to handle and learn how to deal with my own grief because I had to serve 4 children. That is my drive. That is the way I use my drugs, to heal myself. And now I know how to heal others. To bring others to the same ability to trigger themselves into the depth. So whenever you feel anger or this or that, man, it's coming to the surface. Now keep on doing the breathing because the nature of your biochemistry and your will is to heal, to work it out. And it should be done within 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We spoke about ayahuasca earlier. I done an ayahuasca documentary. A lot of people asked me about it, but I'm still unsure about it because I just felt, I believe changes can be made within. I believe a lot of people's been through more trauma than me, but still do a lot better than me in life, that are more happier than me. There was a documentary that we're supposed to do next year. It was to be in a dark room for 7 days, just pure darkness, all black. They says when you're in the room for after 3-4 days, the brain will release the DMT, and that's the natural chemical.
Exactly.
Without taking it externally.
Yes.
It's a powerful one, this. I never really knew much about it until a few months ago when I seen somebody else doing it in a dark room, 7 days, just pure darkness, and then you eventually see life's true purpose. It's some deep shit.
Whoa.
But that's natural. That's not drinking teas and
No,
plants.
I believe you completely.
So
You
I'm
got
gonna
it.
try this next year.
Yeah, that's great. And I just did apparently people around me did a documentary with my techniques and naming it, Wim Hof this and that, together with Strassman, Professor Strassman, who is the expert on DMT in the world. Among that, ayahuasca and ibogaine and psychedelics like that triggers the deeper images in the subconscious. And now you are talking about the darkness. That yes, that is a way, because our daily eyesight is taking a lot of energy. So if that is going on, then the deeper part of your brain is consumed. All the energy gets into the eyesight. But if you close your eyes and you do that long enough, then that energy, it's not consumed anymore. It goes to the deeper areas of the brain. And then it is able to release. Now, through these breathing techniques, we are able to bring energy into those areas. We have seen in brain scans in Germany, in Hanover, people doing these breathing techniques, making not 16% at will of the brain activated, but 100% neural activity through doing these breathing techniques. That means that all the parts in our brain suddenly are nourished. And that means that the nature of our mind is to solve things, not to be in a narrowed mind, a consciousness of the mind, which is only capable of, having a lot of our brain on standby. No, when you have deep trauma, and this is what we should teach the children in school, to never get accumulating trauma and to have it stay there for 30 years or 40 years, consuming or blocking the quality of your life, the depth of your life, and influencing it for the bad. And it's like something is stored. It wants to come out. So we never knew the ability, and now we found through these breathing techniques, whenever you feel that there is shit going on, deep shit, and you do not even know it, but you suspect it to be, get into the breathing. Get into the breathing, get 100% score neural activity done. It happens. They have compared these breathing techniques with the result in the brain scan to see what kind of activity and what areas of the brain are being activated. So people doing this breathing for 10 minutes, they activate deeper parts of the brain than people doing 4 hours of mindfulness for years. So the shit works, but you have to make it work within yourself. And we are built to be able to tap into the deepest of our brain anytime when it's needed. Sometimes when there is danger, we get a shock, something is happening, and it's a confusion, the short circuit, and the trauma. And then you cannot handle that in that dangerous situation. You are able to get out of the situation. And then you should be able to get into the trauma and work it out. But we have never learned how to do that. And now we found this way. And this I want, again, I'm into the studies with the people who are doing work on the top researchers on the DNA and on depression. It's now going to get to the outer, so everybody is able to see that we found the keys, but you got to open the door yourself.
As human beings, though, when we don't like to feel uncomfortable. We don't like to feel pain, so we just mask it even more. We just wrap ourselves around like an onion and just, we don't want to feel no more pain. So for people who maybe are struggling and need, how do you need to face the pain to heal it? Do you need to accept it?
Yes, but there is no force involved. You can go gradually, and we have innate capacities. We are born with them to deal with whatever comes to us. So the last explanation was quite good. Like, I never explained it this way, but it comes out because this is a new conversation. And it's a nice conversation, by the way. It's a good one. It's common sense. And here we get into issue solving, where psychiatrists still are groping in the dark. They still need some DMT to understand that the shit is in and not in analytics and this and pills and injections. It's all not, it's inside. So we have the capacity to take on trauma when something really bad happens to us and still get out of the situation which caused it. That is the danger. We get into the brainstem. When the danger happens, adrenaline comes, and the trauma to our person, because it was all too overwhelming, we could not understand. It shattered our belief and everything. It's really too much. It's like an imprint, and bang, inside. You can't do anything than to receive it. But you still have the ability to get out. And then you should be able to work it out. And for that, we got these breathing techniques. And these, when I got people begin to cry, to yell, they see faces, they are all kinds of things. And what am I? I'm a simple man who has come from a suicide of his wife, whom he loved, with 4 children, and they're being left alone. I just tried to get out of that hole, out of that trauma. And that taught me something that is not in the books. And now I teach the psychiatrists and I show the brain scans that we have a much greater possible control at will to tap into our brain and to deal with the trauma, whatever it is.
Yeah. When did you start getting the recognition? Well, when did you start feeling that, okay, what I'm doing is right? Because you must have questioned it yourself, even though it felt right for you. You must have felt, what if I'm fucking crazy? What if I'm doing is wrong? Because I still question everything. I'm in a good place. I'm drink-free. I'm drug-free. I'm gambling-free. It feels right for me, but sometimes I question it that, what if I'm talking shit?
Yeah.
What if everything I'm doing, I'm talking shit? When did you start getting the recognition that this man is pushing himself to limits and creating mass changes in the world?
That it is, James. Thing is, I never questioned really myself. And even though I was considered to be a crazy man, an idiot, and all these things, I kept on doing what I was doing. Because what I was doing was not based on thinking, on pondering or philosophizing. We're just going into the bloody ice cold water for too long a time, according to the physiological laws. And then I found deeper realities, logical, because I had to survive. And I felt I could survive. And I'm an investigator of life. I think everybody in nature, in this spiritual nature, is an investigator to see what life really is all about. But we lost this connection through all this schooling and too much thinking. But I was not, my feelings were not based in thinking. It was out of practice, going every day like I go to my love. I go to my practice. And that for 44 years, I've been doing that without questioning myself, ever. And then people say that I'm crazy. Man, I'm sitting here an hour in cold water, and you with your scarf and 10 layers, you're saying that I'm crazy. This much it goes. I went to school with my young kids, primary school, and I went to school in wintertime. In shorts, it's freezing in the Dutch winters. It's like Scotland. It's freezing. So you go. I went like I say, make of your winter a summer. So act like this summer, and then you are done. That's the philosophy. The rest is doing. So you do it. You go in shorts, open sandals, a T-shirt to school. And I was doing handstands in the schoolyard, waiting for the kids come out, splits, jumping around, being alive. And the people at the side, the parents, smoking. So he's crazy. He is crazy. He is crazy. And my children then, they told me, Pop, act normal, act normal. Act normal, act normal. I said, no. I said, I just kept on doing it because it felt good. I felt strong, had no money, just felt strong and happy. I needed no money. I just needed to be the way I was. And that finally resulted into the groundbreaking for the science. Yeah. And I flabbergasted all the TV world. And now they are going to make a Hollywood film about this. And you know what? The beautiful thing they're going to make in the Hollywood film is not only to show that a simple man is able to make groundbreaking changes in medical understanding and science, not only the pharmaceutical industry, the way it works upon our physiology and psychology and then physiology, of course, is so that natural methods of one person, they don't come through. Even when I went in 2014 to scientists and show for the first time in medical history how to tap into the autonomic nervous system and immune system, both, but not a little bit, big time, and then showing it with 12 people, publishing in the best of papers of the world, and then they don't take it up because the industry doesn't make money. What I do doesn't make money. And let me tell this to the viewers. Let me tell this to the viewers. Guys, you got it all. Make sure you get it all. You get it all.
Change isn't easy. Guys like Einstein, Edison, yourself who've changed the world. It isn't easy. People laugh, people ridicule. How did that affect your kids when you were doing all that stuff and they were growing up? Even though you were doing the right thing, it felt right for you, but everybody else in their small box made you feel crazy. It made your kids feel as if the dad was a weird one, when really they're smoking, drinking, taking drugs, probably fucking around. For me, how did that affect you and the kids? How did that affect the kids?
Yes, there's right now those daughters. You know, daughters are extremely sensitive.
Yeah, I have a daughter at 10.
So you know, at that age. And now they have become instructors in the method that bears their father's name. And they are both graduates from university and everything. One has done psychology, other one did 2 masters. And they are kind of bright girls in society. But they know now that what happened before is the bullshit going on right now. And what we are really all about, they love their workshops because they see people change. They feel people change. And it all comes back. It's so much healing, so much love going on. And this of course, they had a shattered belief about love because their mother jumped from 8 stories down. But now in the psychiatry, my daughter is a psychologist. In psychiatry, I went with her to Detroit, Wayne State University, and I showed in the brain scans to go so deep at will into the brain, which was unprecedented deep. And then the professors, they told, this is a transformational technique that will change mental health care. That is number 1. That is big already. Man, I'm talking mental disorders, any kind. Any kind. At least ask yourself, is this possible, what he is saying? What is must be full of shit. Check me out, please. Check me out. And if you then find the answers through what you have been checking out, just through objectivity, then help those who need it.
Yeah, it's funny though, a lot of pressure from the outside noise and other people can put you back into your very small box. And if you didn't, this is why it's important for people watching. Consistency is key. If you believe in something so much and you don't care, if you're not, as long as you're not hurting anyone, then stay true to you, stay true to your passion. I think people can get caught up in relationships, jobs, and think that's the final piece of the puzzle in life, and realistically they've stopped working on themselves. This is why I think people struggle so much, because they're not fulfilling that potential that they have, the greatness to make changes in the world. You've changed the world.
Exactly.
Anybody can do it, and that's such a powerful thing.
Hey man, I'm so simple.
Yeah.
I'm a simple guy, and you see me. I could be a hobo somewhere in the street, being ignored by everybody, asking for money. You know, that's me. But no, it's something else behind the disguise. And the thing now is that what we bring it for everybody in the world through the science, and it's test out, it's simple, it's very effective.
Yeah. So what's the benefits then for cold water exposure for people just starting off, getting in a shower or getting in a cold bath or getting into the icy lakes? What's the health benefits?
There are many benefits. The principle is of a cold shower a day keeps the doctor away. That is the simple one. The other one is we have 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels inside. Very primitive ones like capillaries, and then you have arteries and you have veins. They are all connected to the heart. We all know. Killer number one was cardiovascular related diseases in society. Why? Because all the cardiovascular related system and related organs and everything are very bad exercised. They contain millions of little muscles to help the blood flow go through. But because we wear clothes all the time, we destimulate. We have a destimulative kind of behavior, conditioned. So the muscles don't work as much. Who's got to pay for that? Your heart. Your heart needs to pump more to get the blood flow through, because the tone of the muscles in the vascular system, that means the millions of little muscles, they are not helping as much. So if you go into the cold shower, what happens? These little muscles begin to work. They begin to be stimulated. What happens more, if you do this regularly, then the heart rate goes down with 20 to 30 beats a minute, 24 hours a day. And that means that there is no stress anymore. Besides of that, all the little muscles begin to work and help the blood flow, less stress, and the energy, because the vascular system is a transportation system of the blood flow. It reaches much better the cells. And thus you get a lot more nutrients, oxygen, and vitamins into the cells. That means a lot more energy. So much more energy and much less stress. That's the result of a cold shower a day.
Yeah. How you hold your breath? You could hold your breath for 7 minutes underwater. Is this correct?
Yes. But it's not about competition.
Yeah.
Anybody. If my oldest participant is 98 years old. She loves it. She loves it so much. She told me. I told it my sister, 96 years old. And they are doing it. And so many people, older people, this is the principle of the rabbit. All the life you go, until you die, you should be able, like the rabbit, to flee, fight, and to find food. Isn't it? That is normal. What we see now in the elder homes, etc., people stashed away with 20, 25 cans of medicines, staring in front of a TV, waiting until the agony of death is setting in. What kind of life is that? It's not there. What we should do every day is reminding, I say, die once a day. Learn to fully live is where the fear of dying, of the quality, the inequality of living is no longer there. This is what I learned when I swam under the ice. I lost sight because my cornea froze. I had no goggles on under the ice, swimming, and suddenly I couldn't see where I was going, and there was a meter of thick ice beyond. I swam. I swam twice the record distance and more, 113 meters. 50 was at that time. The other day I had to do that. It was a piece of cake because I got out alive. Why? I kept on swimming, trying to find the hole. And then a diver, finally, almost swimming and sleeping. There I was. I never had felt the agony of drowning, being that claustrophobic situation, ice cold water in my breath hold. No fear, no nothing. When they brought me back to the 50-meter hole, the first thing you get, where was everybody? But I did it. And there, at that moment, I had a peak, absolute peak into a fearless state of being. We don't die. I found the way we think about dying, it all ends over there, and that's why we have fear. But that's wrong. We have to go deeper to understand that fear is bullshit. That we live forever and that we have a purpose here in this life to fulfill the soul itself and to make it understand instead of what we're doing now with the world, serving people who gain too much money and who are abusing, corrupting, polluting the world, the cruelty in the world against animals and people, war zones, disease and all. It is not necessary. It's time for change. And I went into nature and I found through going into the extremes, following my feeling is my guide. Do not force. There is no force needed. Your feeling will show you are capable of so much more. And at least to realize the soul, who you are and what you are. And that is love. It's driven by love. It's a fearless state of being. And that is what I want to teach my children, your children, everyone I love.
So you have nearly died fighting for this.
Oh, a couple of times. Couple of times, yes.
Death, like people do fear death, and that's fear. It's what controls the world, and you don't know what it's like before you're born, so you're not going to know after death. We're constantly searching. When you're a searcher, I'm a searcher. I'm at the beginning of my journey. I know I'm going to change the world at some point. I believe I'm doing the steps to do that. I've yet to find. I do what I love. I found my passion. I believe something bigger is going to come. I just need to keep working on myself. When you got scientifically proven, when you eventually said that this man is changing lives, you broke down, you started crying. Why?
Yes, of course. It's finally after 40 years of not being recognized, after 40 years of misery, after 40 years carrying your grief alone, you get finally a recognition of a world which was always blaspheming me, saying that I was an idiot, crazy, and I should go on, don't stick with your feelings. It's not important. What is important is to produce, to have a career, to have a position better than somebody else, to gain money and to gain more money, and that's it. So all that was a feeling at that moment that broke down just through those words of that doctor. It's amazing what happened. And I said, something good has happened. Namely, the suppression of my own being went down. And at the same time, I was able, if I'm able to do this, I can bring it on for others. That there is more than meets the eye, and now it's time that it is getting in our sight. Tangible, strong, effectively there. That's my method, that's my mission. And conversations like this brings and sheds light.
Was that a release,
right over there?
Was that a release for you when all the years of getting called
the
black sheep, all potentially getting verbally abused, mentally abused, called crazy?
Oh, yes.
Was that a release to say, not as if to say, fuck you, I told you so, but look what I've done?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm quite humble about that. Only humble about that. Because I know a lot more people are suffering. And let us now give the example. If I can get out, and I'm a simple guy, really, I have no schooling, not really, no real schooling, but life has taught me. And now I'm better than anybody and anything. What is that? No, I'm the simple guy. But now I'm freed. I'm freed of my suppression. And I stay simple. I stay humble because what is happening is great. And I want to see the greatness every day. And that is what I want to share with everybody who is suppressed right now.
The pineal gland, Wim, the seat of the soul, they call it, which is in the middle of the brain, and it gives you like higher powers to certain things. Is cold water, does this help the pineal gland?
Yes, absolutely. Why? Because the adrenal axis will be turned on, and it resets the blood chemistry deeply, and it cleanses it. Once it is cleansed, it will take away that what is wrongly built up through acidity, through a long standby of those parts of the brain, then becoming acidic and then becoming petrified, calcified.
Fluoride.
Yes, and now through these breathing techniques and going into the cold, you learn to change the biochemistry, make it absolutely alkaline. Then the adrenal axis is activated and they reset the body toward the way Mother Nature meant it to be. That means clean, cleansed, deeply within the lymphatic system, and also the neural activity at will, all 100% within our brain. That means then the blood flow is able to follow with alkaline blood, and that decalcifies the pineal gland. And then anything that is needed to solve trauma, that is the purpose of dimethyltryptamine, DMT, is able to get to you or to whatever needs to be done. The trauma could be an accident, the trauma could be the loss of your wife, your child, this or that. It does not matter. It's there at your will, present to help you.
Climbing, not Ben Nev, what's the climbing Mount Everest?
Yeah.
On your shorts by the danger zone. What was the thinking behind this? And did you get scared at any point?
No. No. I remember a couple of things. Of course, the first was, nobody had done it. So you go into the unknown.
Does that turn you on a bit? Like, no, it's never been done
always,
before.
always, man. Always. I now figured that out with my wife. That's a joke, guys. But the thing, going into the Mount Everest, I just thought by myself, first they did it with oxygen and clothes. Then they did it without oxygen, but with clothes. Let me be the one who is doing it without clothes and without oxygen. Just, shorts. And that's what I did. And I went there, and the whole alpinistic world was upside down, and a man goes this way, and he is planning to go, and I did. What I found on Mount Everest, on the height of 6 kilometers about, was me being alone, because I was just too fast for the people. I'm very sportive, very athletic. Just being with nature, not in sports competition. Nature makes me the best of me. And there I had set out with the mindset, I want to do this. So then you get a drive inside. You grow while you go. And I went. But then snow came. And I was there, and there is no paths. There's only ice and ice, snow, white, it's cold, and that's it. And the rest you have to find out while going. But there I was, in a white out suddenly, in my shorts, in a white out, on that height, with less than half the oxygen. I found the way. I didn't feel this paranoia. I didn't feel anxiety. I felt, hey, I'm okay. I don't see anything, but I'm okay. I feel okay. I'm connected. I got my drive. I go. I just go. 3 hours later, I found myself in the advanced base camp at 6,400 meters. And I was received by Tibetans, and they were, I think they have been looking to a person like the Yeti. like a pilgrim coming out of their whiteout in his shorts. That they served me tea and all those things, and then later that was the greatest moment on Mount Everest for me, because I found out I had no paranoia, no anxiety while being amidst a whiteout, and that was the greatest of discovery.
Do you think you find yourself more when you're with yourself, when you are alone? Do you think you find who you really are? Because we surround ourselves with too many people. We've got noise from radio, TV, social media. Do you think you find your true purpose when you spend more time alone?
Yes, of course. But right now, talking to you, we get to insights. We get to a conversation I never had. And it's beautiful. The light which is shining right now between us is beautiful. And the light coming from the neurology of talking this way is saying this is common sense and this is going to the deepest. This is giving new insights. We are helping the people. We are like in the tribe, and we solve any problem that is coming up in this conversation, and we will solve it because the nature of our mind is capable of doing that if we only go past our fears. And that's what we do. So that is nice. That is great. I love it. For the rest, if I feel bullshit, I just go out. I'm sitting 20 minutes or 30 minutes into the ice water. Then I shut up inside. It shuts up. And then you are just there. And that's who you are and what you are.
Yeah. So going through all that, all the trauma you've been through, all the pain and misery, you're still human. You'll still battle that shit every day. You just handle it better than everybody else. So
yes.
Going through all the records you've broke, changing the world, proving that everything is within, proving that your belief can change whatever the fuck you're thinking. You can change the way you think, the way you feel, the way you talk, the way you act. If you ain't happy, you can't be happy. You're living proof of that. Many other people are.
Yes, man.
So going forward for the future, what's plans for Wim Hof? What is other goals that you want to take it? Where's the levels you want to go?
I want this method all over globally.
In schools?
In schools. I want children to be taught happiness, strength, and health. No more only the bullshit, how to fit in a society that is sodomizing the planet. It's going to be over. It's inequality going on, and it's ruling us. A system, a hierarchy where a couple of people are earning 10,000 times more than somebody else. What makes them a one person and the other to have 10,000 times more needed than this person? That is a system that doesn't work. It doesn't. They are not brighter or anything. They are just sneaky, able to manipulate that system in a way that it all comes to. And where is the energy coming from? From all those. Because there is no more energy than the amount of people in the world. That's logic. And so that is represented into money. Money is only a symbol of what is the energy in all the people. And that's why we have poverty. That's why we have starvation. Because we are thieves. The guys who are ruling over us. And those are the criminals. And those people, they kill and nobody sees it. But we are going to open those eyes. If I have a mission, it's not me anymore. I don't need to play with the Mount Everest no more to see what I'm capable of. Now I will use my mind and my heart to bring justice to the world through the schooling, where children get to learn about happiness, strength, and health, to never lose the core of their wealth, insight, ever anymore. And when it happens in a society, you got to work, you got to do this, you got to do burnouts and autoimmune disease and cancer and shit happens. No. This is what Dave Asprey asked me in his podcast. Wim, I never asked this, but how to reach enlightenment? And I told him, okay. And please put it in one sentence. Hey, shit, man. They put Bibles, Qurans, and all those things, with all these scriptures. I say, keep it simple. Yeah, I got it. Just be happy, strong, and healthy, because the rest is bullshit. And that bullshit, nobody should be satisfied with in any way. Not succumb to it, not being suppressed. It's bullshit. It's not yours. You are identifying with bullshit. And that's why you feel shy, feel timid. And others are able to manipulate you because you have no control over your own mind. Now we are showing you own your own mind. We have the tools. We talk about it like two guys. They talk, they stand up, they say something is wrong here. Let's find out. That is the ability of nature given to us through speech. And that's what we do, a common sense speech. The wise are talking. We are leading because we have no fear. We want to solve in the love for all those who are suffering. That's what we do. So what I'm doing the rest of my life, what you are doing as well. We bring common sense, love back to our families. Manifest like a rock. Yeah. That's what we do.
What's your daily routine like, Wim?
Start the day with a good breathing session. Because the breathing session, it has shown in the university to alkalize the blood. That means acidity is out there. That means that the performance is going to be a lot better when the blood is alkaline.
You do this as soon as you're up. I read an article that the first hour of your day and the last hour of your day is your most creative. I also read that Tibetan monks, nuns also, when they done the breathing techniques, they wrapped wet clothes over them. They done the breathing techniques and visualised themselves drying the clothes. Their body temperature went up and they actually dried. The clothes went dry.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you do that first thing in the morning?
All these things. We don't need to.
Do you visualise when you do it?
Yeah. We don't need to go into visualizations and all that. There is a big margin. Just do a little bit of breathing. Take the cold shower. And you are able to understand the depth of yourself. You get a control over your mood. The mood regulation is done through these breathing techniques and the cold shower. And at a certain moment, you are able to go and swim in cold, natural bodies of water. Like this swimming pool there, what you see there, that one I never use in the summer. I only use it in the winter. And I love it. And sometimes I go into the lakes and into the rivers because I'm not shy. My condition of my vascular system is just right there. When you are able to take on the cold shower on a regular basis, you are able to take on stress. And that's the world. You want to know how to deal with stress of the world? And bacterial stress and viral stress and emotional stress, mental stress, work stress, etc. The congestion, this and that. Learn to handle yourself. Go into the cold shower. You learn your psyche to direct to inner power, the adrenal axis activation, becoming strong. While nobody sees something, you have the ability to change yourself to become stronger in a second, just by thought. And that is done through the cold shower. Going back, cold shower a day keeps the doctor away. And some breathing, deep breathing, makes your body alkaline. Great preparation for much more outcome than normal in the day.
How's your eating, Wim?
I eat once a day. I didn't eat until...
Is that the 5 hour thing?
Yes.
5 hour window?
Yeah, about. Not even. 2 hours is enough.
Is it vegetarian, vegan?
Yes, it is.
So plant-based kind of stuff. Have you ever heard of a thing called sun gazing?
Yeah. I did that 50 years ago.
Many years, yeah. So I watch a lot of stuff about India. People think I'm crazy for doing this, but everything that's grown from this universe, trees, fruit, veg, is grown from the sun. It's the sun's reserves. So if you look directly at the sun, an hour before sunrise, an hour before sunset, I can look at the sun anytime now. So if you do that, but an hour before sunset, an hour before sunrise, it will align everything back in your body. They say if you look at the sun for over half an hour, it will cure you all disease as well.
Whoa.
They say people can go blind by looking at the sun. That is a myth. Nobody's ever went blind by looking at the sun. But don't look at that. Build up the eyesight, build up.
Gradual.
Like the ice cold shower stuff.
Gradual cold exposure.
So gradual exposure. We touched on that. People look into it. There's many things about it on YouTube about sun gazing. I believe it's powerful as well. It can maybe change lives. But
I loved it when I was doing it for hours when I was younger. Was doing it, and now still I'm doing it. I love this sun.
Yeah.
The contact with the
can see the aura.
visual cortex.
You can see the aura.
The aura it becomes blue.
Yeah.
And then you're just feeling it is amazing. And yes, vegetarian because the phyto power is still within the plants. It directly receives the sunlight.
Yeah.
So it's there. And in animals, it's indirect. They eat the plants, so they already digested the sun power.
Yeah.
So we think meat, but meat in the end is very needs a lot of processing inside. It's a wrong diet. It's a wrong diet.
For people watching, people whose life has beat them down, maybe lost a loved one, battling depression, maybe got addiction issues, what advice would you give for them? What maybe tools and techniques would you give for them for people to go, do you know what? Because people will watch this and it will trigger something in someone's mind and they'll go, fuck it, I want change.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for them?
First of all, we have shown through science already that we as humans have a much deeper possible control within. That the industry, etc., is treating us only with pills and dependency on therapies and psychiatry and all that. It's not necessary. You, with your breath, with these breathing techniques, and we got a free app for that to show you to have an absolute sense of control you within. Unprecedented much. And then you will feel, a feeling is the understanding. Once you get to that feeling, then, oh shit, I never felt this. And then you don't need too many words. You want to get rid of the shit. And that shit is going to go because you're going to adopt an absolute sense of control. Try out the free app.
What's it called?
It's I don't know what it is called. It's on my website.
Yeah, the Wim Hof app,
and they develop it every month, possibly the Wim Hof method app or something. And I don't use it because I developed it. It's logical, you know. But I tell you, the shit works. The shit works, and it's good, and it's scientifically endorsed. I can talk in English. I can talk in French about it. You know, it's good shit.
So yeah, for the people watching, just get involved with the Wim Hof method. What's your social media and stuff? Just Wim Hof on Instagram, YouTube. You've got so many videos and documentaries. The very first one I watched was on Vice. Was powerful. I that young Vice. Boy, just decent guy. So we've moved on to everything for the future. We've touched on a lot of things. Would you like to finish up on anything yourself, brother?
Man, just keep on the work and the common sense. Bring it together with your beautiful accent. I love the Scots way, you know. In the Highlands, I think we have reached the Highlands here.
Yeah, definitely. Wim, for coming on today, brother, and telling your story, it's very much appreciated. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I believe you've only just scratched the surface. You've got a lot more to come.
Yes.
I'll be following your journey till as long as we're on this planet.
We will bring the soul to everybody who needs it.
So the last question, do you still get cold?
Yeah, of course. But don't tell nobody.
Thank you, brother.
Good.
God bless you.
Oh, right.